Okay, in this question, we've got to first of all recognize what is going on. We've got someone catching a bus, and we're interested in it taking more than 6 minutes. Okay, in fact, we are counting the number of times he has to wait for more than 6 minutes. Okay, and there were 10 buses involved. So in order to make any headway in this question, we need to realize that we're counting the number of successes in 10 independent trials, where success means having to wait more than 10 minutes. Okay, in other words, this is a binomial question. So one of the trickiest things about binomial questions is recognizing it. So you have to set up that your count of how many times this happened is a binomial, and you need the number of trials and you need the probability of it happening on one trial. So you've got a value of n and you've got a value of p. Once you've got your value of n and p, okay, then you can use your calculator probabilities. So remember, on your calculator you're going to go into the distribution mode 7, and we always use binomial CD. Okay, we avoid binomial PD. Some of them can be done that way, but for simplicity, always do a list of the outcomes. So make sure when you're working out the probability of exactly 5 times, okay, you put a list of all the possibilities. So it'll always start from 0, and it'll go up to the maximum number of the total number of trials there were, but also you're going around 5, so you're going to have 4, 5, 6, ... here, ... here, and to work out the probability it happens exactly 5 times, we're going to need to do this probability, and we're going to need to take away that one, which you can do using your normal binomial CD button. And similarly, you can do similar diagrams for 2 or fewer, more than 4, and for at least 3, but at most 6. So these are just a question of getting your probabilities from your calculator. Okay, and then we're carrying on assuming that he was right, and we need to calculate the mean and standard deviation. So you've got formulas for the mean expectation of x for a binomial and for the standard deviation. Now you have a formula in the formula book for the variance of x. These have got n and p in them. Okay, now the variance of x, we want the standard deviation. So remember, the variance is sigma squared. You need to find sigma, so you need to square root that standard deviation. And we just need those 2 answers there. And then we've got some observed values, and we're going to get the mean and standard deviation of these data. So it's a list of numbers. You're going to enter them in 1 var mode, of course, because it's not correlation or regression you're doing. So make sure you're in the correct calculator mode, enter your list of values, get the mean and standard deviation of those values. Okay, and then you are comparing this observed mean and standard deviation with the ones you calculated. So if these are a good match, then maybe we think the assumptions that Sibali made are good, but if there's a mismatch, there must be something wrong with the assumptions. So you see whether the match is good or not, and you compare and you make judgments about whether his assumptions are likely to be valid or not.